Yay! Yay! Quick off the dome on prompt baseball chat because Yankees lose. You don't gotta hear it from me. Yo, it's a lot of tri-state love on this panel today. But for some reason, it seems like they ain't willing to accept the truth, which is basically a factual statement. I'm not trying to say, look, man, I hope the Yankees don't make it. Look, the Yankees, I rooted for y'all, even more than y'all to an extent. But nah, it ain't the year. So we are joined today by, man, we got the homie, the Gambler, repping MLB Bros. Hallelujah, what's going on, fam?
What up? Because you need to know.
Yeah. I also got the homie Bad Ty Bricks from the just fresh with a face full of chicken.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm your homie, the real Mr. Let's go ahead and chat baseball, man. So we know what the move is right now. We have just witnessed the Yankees face elimination. And I know y'all don't like to hear it. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of it. But I want to question the reasons, okay? If it's okay with you guys. Obviously, if we look at it basically, the average baseball fan who watch will blame it all on one thing, in my opinion. And y'all tell me if y'all agree with me on this. I think baseball fans in the Bronx are very simplistic and like to pinpoint small things to make that the whole reason why something happened. I think that this is what's going to be the scapegoat for the next few weeks, unfortunately. And I don't know if it's fair or not. Do y'all think that it boils down to this era? And is it just this era? Because there's multiple eras you could point to when it comes to the Yankees and their demise over the years when they don't actually make it, not even to the World Series. So, jump ball. Do you blame Jazz and Jazz alone? Is Judge off the hook?
Most every year the Yankees make it to the playoffs, so they're not in the same position as every team in the league. Like the Yankees going to the playoffs is not a big deal. So you start from there, then you criticize, right? You criticize on from that standard. But now they haven't got it done in 16 years. But that era, to my knowledge, came after they were already down 2-1, after they were already down in the game. To begin with, they took early 1-0 lead, and then things snowball from there, as usually happens to Yankees in these situations, and they just lost. It's not like they lost to a team that was inferior because the Blue Jays won the division. And one thing that we were talking about earlier, we were saying how for the Yankees to have to play Boston and then Toronto back to back. I mean, give me any of the two teams in the entire playoffs, really, outside the Dodgers, who I want to meet at the end. I'd rather play them than have to play two AL East teams back to back in a row with the type of history that these teams have and how well they know each other, and the fact that it's a toss-up when these teams meet because they know each other well and they hate each other. The Yankees don't want to have to play Boston in a wild card, then come back and play Toronto in the very next series. I think they got the toughest draw in the entire playoffs, but that's up to them. They could have won the division and avoided this, but they didn't.
That part, Ty. I mean, you agree with what G said? Like, ultimately, this is the Yankees. This is kind of what happens. And can't nobody really talk because they at least make the playoffs every year with the exception of 2023. But it kind of boils down to the same two things. You point to the fifth inning last year. You point to, even though they were in this position, it still boils down to a couple mistakes maybe that end up keeping the Yankees from making.
Well, no. Not that last year, yes. This year, no. To what G was alluding to, the fact is division opponents are always going to be tougher than the rest of the league because everybody in the division constructs their team to win the division. So you're literally constructing your team to beat the other teams that are in your division. So for the Yankees to have to go up against the Red Sox, which I told you we would struggle with them, even though we won it, I told you we would struggle with them because this is what we play them more than any other teams in the league. We play the Toronto Blue Jays, the Baltimore Orioles, the Boston Red Sox.
Tampa Bay Rays.
Tampa Bay. We play all of them because they're division opponents. Our division record against Toronto this year was 8-5. The Toronto Blue Jays beat us 8 times and lost to us 5 times. So and mind you, we tied for the division going into the playoffs. The only reason the Blue Jays got the bye is because they had the tiebreaker from the victories in the thing. So the Yankees did all that they could do. Now, this, like to what G was saying, they was already down 2 games to 1. This wasn't like a situation where it was
Bill Buckner.
This wasn't a 1-1
game 7
and you made a mishap on a play and then all that, you know what I'm saying? This wasn't that. Like, if I'm being honest,
please,
it's not the Yankees' fault that they lost. Toronto is just a better team. Toronto, it was just they've proven it all year long in regards to playing us. They were just better than us. Like, that's like, so that, like, I'm not blaming. This is the one year that I'm not necessarily, because last year, you know how I felt about Judge and all of the lackluster performance that he gave last year, and that's not just a casual fan observation. That's just anybody who knows baseball knows that he didn't step the fuck up. You don't have the type of regular season that you have, and then when you come in, you disappear. So it was nice to see him finally get his moment. Where he hits the 3-run shot, brings them back, and they win the game. That was a moment, but really, that was more saving him from the critical and analysis that was going to come had he not done anything and they lost the series. Now you look at coaching, because that's why I told you, when you have this much talent on a team, when you have the type of roster that they have constructed, and you had the success in the regular season, and then you get there, and then everybody kind of, it's like a lull, and then the first game not playing, deciding to not play Jazz. These are coaching decisions that you go back and you're like, well, let's question the coaching decisions. Me and you have also had the conversation about me and and how it pertains to how I feel about Boone. And I just feel like Boone is not the type of coach that the New York Yankees need. You know what I'm saying? The New York Yankees need that fiery coach that has that kind of New York swag. I'm not necessarily saying he's got to be. I'm not naming specific coaches. I'm just saying in the overall architecture of the coach, I'm looking for a coach that has that type of fiery, you know what I'm saying, that's going to motivate the players and get on their ass when they ain't doing what they supposed to do. I don't need no Aaron Boone who going to be over here stroking you and, oh, it's okay.
Pause
it's
all right. Yo,
you know what though? To that, unfortunately, the Yankees have a system though, and a culture, the way they do things with the analytics department. They don't. That's why they got rid of Joe Girardi for those same things that you just mentioned. That's exactly why they got rid of him, because they want the manager to understand we're going to run this by these analytics and by these metrics. And you might get some latitude here and there, but overall, our pitchers are going to pitch these amount of innings. They're only going to do this amount of innings. We're going to try to save money here with this kind of hitter. This is the kind of approach we want all our hitters to have. And, it goes deep. It's not 99, 98 anymore, where the managers are going to be making every decision and they're going to be gung-ho and screaming at the players. I mean, managers don't even run out to argue with the umpires much anymore. That used to be part of the fabric of the game. So I think it's changed. They might need a more fiery manager, but unfortunately, you're right. But Boone is just what the Yankees actually want. Right? And not just the Yankees. That's what Brian Cashman wants. He doesn't want anyone ever again that's going to challenge his power. And Joe Girardi did that a lot.
Wow.
Well,
I never
yo,
considered this.
you're making a point there, and I'll take it a step further. I'll take because this Brian Cashman can only do what Hal Steinbrenner allows him to do. So my thing is, when we were successful, and you know this to be true, G, under George Steinbrenner, we didn't have this what you're talking about, the analytics and the metrics and all of that kind of
Right.
stuff. You had a coach in Joe Torre who basically was the fire that lit under. Yeah, he wouldn't go out there and argue with the refs. He would go out there and ridicule a player if a player didn't play well, and then that player comes back and plays well. He would bench you if you didn't do what the fuck you was supposed to be doing, and send you down to the AAA squad to go play with them for a little while if you needed to, and come and bring up somebody. This is what I'm saying is the what you're speaking to is the culture that has now been created by a Hal Steinbrenner who is
Yeah.
not of the same thread or of the same ilk as George,
You're right.
who was
But the
not
same
playing
thing,
them type of games and
and the
was doing
same thing
had
you
us the most
said,
successful.
you're right. And the same thing you said though goes back to the switch when they got rid of Buck Showalter, right? And brought in
Mm-hmm.
Joe Torre. Buck Showalter didn't fit
Yep.
whatever they wanted,
Yep.
right? Because he came close and he was probably going to get over the hump, just like Torrey took his team and did it, but they
Mm-hmm.
didn't want that, right? Same thing with like Boone is who they want. I don't, and listen, Hal and Hank Steinbrenner, they're pretty much hands off from what I see. This is
Yeah,
Cashman's shit.
that's my
So
point.
he got to take the right. So he got to take the L's. And as you can see, another point you left out. Back then, when Torrey was being fired and everything, originally Torrey was a manager. He managed a couple teams, the Braves, some other teams, and he was horrible. He had a losing
Horrible.
record, right?
Facts.
As a manager. Also, what was the real key behind them Yankee teams that you point you left out? The scouting with Gene Michael and Bob Watson, the first black general manager. Gene Michael, the stick Michael, he's the one that found, Jeter and Mariano and Bernie Williams. So they had an ill scouting system, which gave way to a metric system where that farm team went from the best in baseball during those what we win 4 and 5 years
Yeah.
to now where our farm team's the worst in baseball, where we never bring up anybody who is nice. Remember, we had a core before.
Ooh.
That's the difference. We had Bernie Williams, Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, Andy Pettit. They all came from the system, right? And Posada, yeah, came in early in. They all came from the system. We don't really have that now. We tried to bring Volpe up. That was the Yankees, I should say. That was their shot at bringing somebody actually from the system that they developed.
What about Dominguez?
Him too, but he hasn't even gotten the starting position
But
solidified yet.
that's my point.
So
It's not that the talent isn't there. It's like this, like there's a difference between not scouting correctly and not utilizing the talent that you have. The Yankees use their farm system as trade
pieces.
pieces.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's not uncommon though, Ty. That's
I'm not saying it's uncommon. The point that G was making was that the scouting system was better in the term of Joe Torre, that it caused us to have these talented players that we could pull from and pull up, and they were successful. What I'm saying is the talent's never left. The Yankees still are the most prolific team in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
They are still the team that every player in baseball, if they had a choice to go to, would want to go to. So it's not as though it's
not every. Because a couple of dudes have told us no. A couple of prominent guys, the last two most prominent players who have made the highest salaries in history, have told the Yankees, thank you, but no thank you. Actually, Manny Machado told them the same thing before Soto and Ohtani and Yamamoto
and Roki Sasaki
all told them, we're good.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Listen. I that's fine. We
They
won't
went
say
and
every.
loaded
I
up
don't
the
know.
Dodgers on us,
We,
right? That's what they did.
Maybe they'll change their opinions
I
now that
can't
they
hear
can wear a
Vince.
beard. Now that they can have facial hair. That's a different pitch point. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to Devin Williams. By the way, we can go down this rabbit hole for a good minute, but before we stick here, just let me ask y'all this simple question. Do you
I
think
can't
that they
hear a
need
word
to
he's saying.
rethink this? Since y'all are talking about Aaron Boone, now I haven't actually gotten a feel from G as to whether or not he thinks that Boone should leave or not. But I'm pretty confident that Ty, I don't even got to ask you. You've been Toby, like you think that Boone is like I'm of a different belief, G. Like I don't, and I know I got slack from some of my homeboys for saying this, but I don't equate the manager on a baseball team to a head football coach. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a whole different type of way that you go. Like I feel like the manager of a baseball team manages the coaches, and the coaches coach. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the coach of a football team, he's like, this is how this team does it, because those 11 men on each side of the field, like you actually draw what each of them does. On a baseball field, you know what the fuck to do. You hit the ball, you run to the bases. You know what I'm saying? Like, and once you get to this level, you should already know what the fuck to do. There's a minor league system to train you. Like, I'm not here to coach you. I'm here to tell you what the fuck to do. If you can't do it, you go back down to AAA. I feel a little different, but
Vince.
I think that
just to touch on that. And
I couldn't hear a word you said.
Oh shit!
You still can't hear him? You still can't
I couldn't hear one thing Vince just said.
I think I know what the problem is. Go to your mic. You go to settings, and I think your mic.
Can't hear him. What did he say?
Go to setting. Go to your settings. Go ahead, Vince.
Can you hear me? Go to your settings.
Go to your settings.
Okay, and go to audio.
Go to audio.
And set the speaker to external.
Set the speaker to external.
Default. I think his mic
default speaker and
external.
I don't have that option.
He said he doesn't have that option. Can you hear him though, Vince?
I hear him fine.
Yeah. Oh, he can hear you. Okay, so all right.
Yeah. But and he hears you?
I don't know why.
You can hear me, right, G?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me, yeah.
What kind of what the hell?
It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
All right, let me try this. Hold on. Let me try this. This is gonna be weird, but let me give it a shot. You're gonna see two of me on the screen for a second. All right, hold on. Here we go. All right, I'm going to. Oh, he left. Anyway, I'm trying to avoid him doing that.
I don't know what just happened. But
I can't
just while he's getting that together. I was saying that in football, like you said that you don't compare the manager of a baseball team to a coach. All right, we good to go. So you don't compare a manager of a baseball team to a coach of a football team, because the manager of the team has coaches that he coaches, correct? Is that what you were saying?
No, because I know that you could easily say, well, there's a defensive coach, a special teams coach. I know that there's I get that the hierarchy exists. I understand that. But in terms of like a baseball manager, I just feel like it's a completely different structure, because I just feel like there's less coaching involved, and more management, when Nick Castellanos was having issues in Philly, they didn't Rob Thompson doesn't say, hey, meet me tomorrow at 8 a.m. We're going to do ground balls. He's like, you're sitting on the bench. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting you on the bench. And when Nick cusses him out, he's like, okay, stay your ass on the bench. But you want to talk about it? I got an open door. I don't feel like there's like a look in here, son. What you need. Like, I don't like, as opposed to like when I see Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, where I feel like there's more of like he would say like, look, I want you to get up. I want you to run, because we're going to do X, Y against this team. And they got a whole week to drill it out. The baseball grind is a daily grind. There's not as much of a, there's a look, you go the fuck down to AAA and figure this shit out, or you're ready. I'm not saying they're comparable. I don't mean to say that they're incomparable completely. I just think they're very different. So if I said they're incomparable, I retract that statement. All right. They are comparable. I think there's just a difference in the execution.
Well, a baseball manager, of course, he has his first base coach, right? His bench coach, the pitching coach. They have coaches, but
everywhere.
But Not as many as football because there's not as many people to manage, for one, right? So actually, I think a baseball coach is more in tune with his team, actually, than a football coach. Football coach is really not messing with them 7 guys on special teams. Like,
Yep.
he doesn't even know who they are. The special team coach better just make sure they're nice with it, right?
Yep.
He's overlooking a whole game plan not made by him. It was made by the offensive coordinator along with the passing coordinator and the quarterback's coach and the quality control coach, for Christ's sake, right? Baseball's way more intimate than you're trying to make it as far as being a manager. Now, yes, you're more managing personalities. In football, you managing schemes because you seeing the result of what you do happen every time, every play in football. In baseball, it's like a chess game. The manager's setting you up at a 10-move interval. Football is move to move. Now, things might change. You might run to open up the pass. Yeah, but in baseball, it's a slow roll. I'm pitching him outside every time he comes up to the 8th inning when the bases are loaded and he's looking for the outside pitch and I come inside. But I'm setting it up. I'm willing to give it up whatever all game on the outside so I can set it up on the inside. It's very intimate. It pitch to pitch. And no, but the emotional attachment between manager and player, as you stated, Vince, is much colder than football. It's less emotional than football.
Yeah.
You got to bring the emotion out of the baseball manager. In football, their coach, they come with the fucking emotion, bro. They come with it. Baseball,
that's true.
It's not methodical in that regard. There's nothing exciting happening until something happens. It's like, bam! Oh shit!
To your point, when I think of Dan Campbell in Detroit, like that's what I think of a coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, guys, you know, we're out. You guys fucking kick
they
my ass
don't exist
today,
in baseball
you know?
no more.
You're not gonna get that from Booney. You know, I think he struggles with his champagne shower speech. I think he might even get it from Chat GPT. I don't know, but
there's no manager you can think of.
He's no Schneider, right? Like so. Question real quick.
Well, to that point, I think with baseball and football, when it comes down to it, like what you just described in Dan Campbell is a player coach, a coach that actually played the game and then decided to go and be a coach, which he's basically bringing. He's bringing you're taking a player who played with passion, and now putting him in a position to coach. The passion doesn't leave because he's the coach. The passion remains. It's because he loves the game,
and that's it can backfire. Remember Mike Dicker?
Yeah,
it can backfire.
It can backfire a lot of times. There's a lot of coaches. There's a lot of coaches in NFL that played football and are coaches now. So it definitely is different. I just think that when as it pertains to Aaron Boone, which was what we were talking about, Aaron Boone to me feels more like a therapist than a coach. He feels like the guy that if you're going through something emotionally or whatever, he may like bring you in and be like, hey, let's talk about this, as opposed to a Bill Belichick who has as opposed to a Bill Belichick who had an extension, which was Tom Brady, that I can go to you specifically and I can tell you what my qualms are with the offense or with this or whatever, and then you can go in and reiterate that to the team in your own way. That's what made Belichick and Brady's relationship so good, because everybody talks about Belichick and his lackluster. He's not one of those coaches that seems passionate. He's even killed. He always seems like he's mad, like, you know what I'm saying, on the sideline. But what he would do was he would go to Brady, who was very cerebral, say, look, this is what I want you to do. Go in there and do this. And he'd go in there and get and uplift the team and do that. That's what I would love to see Aaron Boone do with Aaron Judge, but he doesn't. He lets Aaron Judge operate, and then he comes and he qualms the situation, whatever happens afterwards. So he's like, oh well, Aaron is this and Aaron is that.
Let me jump in. G, what is your opinion on public media scolding from managers to players? Is it effective? Because I feel like I mean, you're in the New York market. I feel like a lot of New York, especially Yankees fans, they don't want their manager to be a shield between the media and the player. I mean, I feel like they accept it when it's necessary, but I feel like they prefer if Rizzo drops the ball at first base, they don't want Boone to be like, well, listen, Rizzo, he's done a lot for us. They want him to be like, yo, he should have got that ball. And he know damn well he should have got that ball. We're going to talk about it.
Well,
And is it effective?
If you're talking about Aaron Boone, well, T just talked about player coaches in football. Well, baseball is different. That's what Aaron Boone is. He a player coach. He a player manager, rather. And also, we got to make sure we make the right distinction. Baseball has hitting coaches, right? Pitching coaches. Boone a manager. So yeah. So he's not a coach. He a manager.
See?
You see what I'm saying?
What I've been saying.
That's different. And in baseball, that's what they do. They manage their players.
Exactly.
In football, they coach their players up. Yo, let's go. Come on, man. Yeah, I know. Even the head coach, right? But football's changed too, because a lot of the young guys they're bringing in that haven't played, they're managers. Mike McDaniels, Sean McVay, guys like that. They're smart. They're managers, though. They get rah-rah sometimes, but it's not like they're a former player. So sometimes when you have a former player like Boone, he's not going to get in players' ass. You know why? Because 90% of the players he manages are better than he ever was, for one, right?
Ooh.
So he's like, fuck you want me to say to Aaron Judge? I think I'm a 240 lifetime hitter. I had like 80 homers. My claim to fame is that home run that tucked in the foul pole against Red Sox. We ain't even fucking win the whole thing that year.
Yo,
my brother's better than me. My pops was better than me. I'm the bum boom. I'm the boom bum. But what I will say about the boom bum, he's an all-star guy. I've interviewed him. I've met him like 4 or 5 times. I've spoken to Aaron Boone when I was a lowly reporter starting out, or when I had started to run into him time for time covering games at Yankee Stadium or All-Star games. Aaron Boone's a good dude. I know why the Yankees kept him. I know why the players will never have a problem with him, because like Vince said, like he said, he's not really going to complain about nothing. He's not going to get a judge's ass for striking out 3 times in a crucial moment. Like, the Billy Martin era is over.
Right.
Billy Martin was fucking running out there snatching Reggie Jackson, of all people. All people.
How that worked out? How'd that work out for him? How'd that work out for him? He tried to sit Reggie, and then they had, hey, I'm sorry, Reggie. Would you pinch hit for us, Reggie?
But he also got them 2 rings, though. And the thing is, all of that, you could talk about all of the nonsense that went on. How Billy was drunk, and that white man in the black man's face demeaning him. But that made Reggie fucking hit those 3 fucking home runs. Yep. Billy being in his ass, and sometimes that's pause, and sometimes that's what it takes.
That's
so?
Look,
we made that because of Billy. You think that was
Billy Martin was a complete savage, but he was a baseball genius.
Before that, what made them go get Reggie? All right, because he was dope before that.
George went and got anybody that he could.
That was good. That's what I'm trying to tell you, George. That was the difference between
if you had a name and you was the latest toy. He wasn't gonna let his man's have that toy. He was gonna cop the new whatever the new wit was, aka player. He wasn't gonna let his man get that player like we do now. We watch Machado and Harper and Otani and Yamamoto and Betts, and we watch all these people, all these Trout. George would have been got Trout up out of. Am I lying? Trout would have been a Yankee like 5 years now with 2 rings.
100%.
He'd be making 600, 700, 800, 900 million, whatever it took. But Mike Trout would not be wasted. A player like that,
I don't know. I think
baseball history won't even remember him how they should. If they would have just fucking demanded he go to the Yankees, he'd be immortalized. We're going to forget Mike Trout 10 years after he retired because he never gave nothing back to us but great baseball, unfortunately.
I disagree.
No,
we still remember King Griffey didn't win.
Will you tell your man Mike Trout's like the invisible superstar?
No, he won 3 MVPs. How is he invisible?
Nobody know him outside of baseball.
Yeah, he's not.
Is that true?
Listen, does Mike Trout have his
Break
own
it down.
sneaker? Hold up. Does Mike Trout have his own sneaker?
I don't even.
No. But I don't know. No. Hold up. Okay, he doesn't. And to what G is saying, there was a marketing strategy pushed behind Ken Griffey Jr. Ken Griffey Jr. was a second. He was literally the son of a baseball player who was good, and he came out and was phenomenal. And it was a marketing strategy pushed behind him. He got his own shoe. To this day, there's kids that rock Ken Griffey Jr. shoes and don't know the first thing about what he accomplished on the baseball field, but they know who he is because there is a shoe, just like a Deion Sanders, another player who all those who grew up around the time of Deion know how Deion's greatness. But there are kids that just have his shoe and know, hey, I got a pair of Deion Sanders on. And you be like, well, can you tell me about Deion? No, I can't tell you. I just know I got his shoe and I like him. But there was a marketing strategy going behind Ken Griffey Jr. that Mike Trout never had and never will have. And to G's point, once Mike Trout retires, he may or may not be Hall of Fame worthy. That's yet to be seen.
He is
that's yet to be seen. But Yeah, he does. But to his point, yes, Mike Trout is not. There's not a marketing strategy going behind him. There was at one point, there was a push, but then that push kind of they was like, it's not.
Y'all are leaving out the part where he's hurt. Like,
nobody's leaving out that part.
Can I drop a bomb? Can I drop a insider? Some inside information on that whole Mike Trout situation. Now, I'm very close with the former PR person over there at MLB, and I remember I would blast baseball for not promoting Mike Trout, right? I would write these articles, baseball's not doing a good job. They're not promoting him, just like he said, like Ken Griffey Jr., blah, blah. He would call me on the phone, literally, when I was like writing those things for like the Shadow League back then, Shadow League. He would call me and say, why are you writing that stuff about Mike Trout? You know how much stuff we try to do with Mike Trout? Mm-hmm. You know, all of the campaigns we have set up for Mike Trout. Mike Trout don't want to do it now. At the time, it don't matter now. He asked me not to write that, but he was asking me not to write what's not true, which I guess I was writing because everybody thought that MLB's not trying to promote their best player because they tried. He didn't want to leave the Angels. He loved the low expectations. He just wanted the money. He has his wife and a tremendous life without ever anybody saying he's a bum like they say to Aaron Judge, who makes the playoffs every single year. See what I'm saying?
How much of that is MLB's fault versus the Angels' fault?
I just told you.
It's neither. If you just heard what he just said. Listen. All right. So listen. This is not.
You can't make him do nothing.
This is not out of the realm of possibility. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Last year, they were talking to Anthony Edwards, and they were saying, "You are the face of the league." He said, "This is," and I quote, I don't want to be the face of the league. Y'all already got somebody to be the face of the league. and so every player does not want to be the face of whatever. Some players enjoy their privacy. Some players enjoy just being a baseball player and enjoying playing the game. They don't want all of the stuff that comes along with being the face of something. You know what I'm saying? Like Aaron Judge, he is the face of baseball, whether he wants it or not, because you play for the Yankees. Yeah,
It's that simple.
it's that simple. And I tell you this all the time. When you have a player of his magnitude who does what he does every single year in the regular season, but then in the playoffs, because we already know regular season Judge is regular season Judge. But when you get to the playoffs and disappear, that's when Yankees fans have a problem. And this is why I said what I said about how that differs from George. George would have noticed this and said one of two things.
He would have traded him behind some shit like that.
Thank you. That's what
You'd be like, he traded Judge. You'd be like, yeah, he can't win the big one for me. I ain't paying him for that. I ain't paying him all that money for him to not bring me no hardware.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
Look how happy you make him.
I'm not paying him all that for him not to bring me nothing. Look at my fingers. They're bare. I gave him, how many contracts we give him now?
Okay,
my God, how much money have we given this guy? We really want to go there. And I don't do this usually. I don't usually do this. I'm a sane baseball guy. I'm not a crazy. But let's not go overboard on the other side. I'm expecting him to deliver one day. I'm giving him passes. I'm expecting Jazz Chisholm to hit more than 245 next year. Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
So with that being said, how long do we wait though? Because
wait. You know a guy named John Elway?
Yeah.
That's how long till he'll never leave. He'll retire a Yankee and he'll either have done it or not. It ain't how long we wait. He ain't going nowhere. I think his contract's like 10 years. He's 35. It's a dub. He will die baseball career wise. A Yankee. He will never touch another uniform. So he will either do it or he won't. Remember, A-Rod got lucky. He caught one that first year. He caught one that first. They bought in A.J. Burnett's. The second year, they bought in A.J. The second year he was there, he caught his chip. They bought in A.J. Burnett, CC Sabathia, Mark Teixeira. Remember that? And then in 08, we took it.
I thought it was 09. Am I tripping?
I mean, 09, we took it after the Phillies won in 08. They went back and we beat them in 09. We took it. But they paid like almost $200 million that offseason, and they only got one ring out of it. And then they got A-Rod, then they got them guys, and they got one ring out of it, but A-Rod got his ring in 09. All
right.
So, G, how they're currently constructed right now, how the Yankees are currently constructed with Aaron Boone at the helm, you believe that at some point they'll figure it out with how they're currently constructed?
Yep, your sound went out, but I think you asked me, can they win it as constructed? I actually picked Detroit at the beginning of the year. I picked Detroit to beat the Yankees. And I am a Yankee fan, but I also covered Detroit a lot last year. And I saw that they were coming up. And I saw that they had some things that the Yankees don't have. You know, guys that make contact, play small ball a lot. When you got embarrassment of riches like the Yankees, how can you not try to just bomb everybody out the park? See, you got to construct your team a different way, not to be so cocky. Then you'll play different. Like if Aaron Boone was coaching the Reds, managing the Reds, he'd actually have some shit to do. When you managing the Yankees, who are you managing? What are you telling? You got Jazz, that is Judge and Stanton, and then you got Goldschmidt, who's a borderline Hall of Famer, won an MVP just 3 years ago. You got, the only guys that don't talk is guys like Ben Rice, rookies, and guys that like that. Everybody else is like huge personalities. Bellinger.
Belly. Okay, can you hear me?
Can't.
Fuck.
I probably gotta go back out and come back
That's
in.
just crazy.
Hey, we know the routine. We know the routine. We'll be here when you get back. All right. We'll see you in a little
Gotcha.
bit. All right. All right. So let me oh shoot, let me do this right. Let me say this then, Ty.
Okay.
Since you are adamant that Boone goes,
Mhm.
what about the actual roster? And then we're gonna get off the Yankees for a little bit because there's some other teams that we should talk about too.
Everybody, let's go.
All right, so let's talk about the okay. So right now, as it stands, with the Yankee season being over, there are already some free agents that they have to decide whether or not they want to pick up the bill on these cats.
Okay.
One of them is Bellinger. One of them is Trent Grisham. Another one of them is Devin Williams, Luis Hill. Do they go back with the same roster? And also, do the Yankees recognize that a lot of this demise is because they were too unwise as to allow Marcus Stroman to stay on the roster, get into the playoffs so he could pitch that first game? Because we know he a starter and he started off in the beginning of the season. And I just don't understand, like, you know, but
yeah, I said that last year, but we're moving off the Yankees onto who? Because the Stroman's like a Yank going back to the Yankees again. Who we at? Where we at?
No, I was just playing around with the Stroman part.
I said last year that first of all, if you want to go there, we signed Stroman, knowing that he's a big game pitcher, right? You had to know that. I had beef with that problem. A lot of Yankee fans were like, oh, he sucked at the end of the year. I'm not particularly talking about this year. I'm talking about last year when they didn't even put him on the playoff roster. Let him try to like you bought him there to pitch big games. That's what I remember. I didn't hear nothing about him carrying the staff. You had Cole. I didn't hear nothing about him being an ace. I didn't hear nothing about him having to win a certain number of games to get a start in the playoffs. I heard that you know how that boy get down at crunch time. He a big game pitcher. He might not do it all the time, but he gonna give you them 5 2/3, 1 run, 3 hits. Keep the team off balance. Give you a chance to win in those big games. Might give you 6 innings. I just thought last year, considering how we lost, how the Dodgers, we had to throw some other things at them that they hadn't seen. Like you can't. That they do whack coaches and whack managers do this in every sport, right? They got this system that they think is so great, right? And maybe it's very successful. And they're rocking that system during the regular season. And it's working against inferior teams or teams of your level. And then you get into a situation where another team is clearly better than you in a lot of areas, right? What do? You don't try to get creative and throw them off balance, switch up. You think that system, the players in that system are just going to play. They're going to have to play twice as good as they ever play in that system to win. It never works. You got to be willing to switch up the system. And that's a big problem that the Yankees have. Like, once you bring in a Jazz Chisholm, you bring in a Trent Grisham, you gotta use these guys the way that they're best used. If you ask me, Jazz Chisholm coming to Yankees like everybody else. He's talented and he's approaching his prime. So he was naturally going to get better everywhere, but they're not using his talents correctly. He's just a home run hitter now.
Well, I mean, here's the problem. Here's what I unfortunately think is going to end up happening until next year. Is Jazz is going the last thing they're going to remember isn't going to be the home run that the go ahead home run that allowed them to even have a game 5. Was game 5? Game 4? No, it's game 5.
Game 5. But the error's not significant enough, bro. It's just people make errors all the time. It's just another thing that happened in a miserable series. Toronto kicked their asses, dog. They scored. It wasn't like we lost 4-3. Boom, mismanaged the bullpen. Judge struck out 4 times in the game. We lost 1 run, left 11 men on. We got obliterated.
23-8. That's what it
They
was.
better, like he said, they better.
23.
Okay,
And then they proved it. It's not like they skeeted by like baseball. You can lose. Better team could lose if the pitching it doesn't come through. It wasn't that. They just strike the floor with us. Odds are we was gonna win a game, and it took a miracle to win that one game.
But isn't that exactly it though? You said it wasn't the pitching. It is the pitching. The differential between the runs shows how bad the pitching situation was. I mean, that's how I feel.
Nah, the rookie pitched. The rookie pitched great twice. The bullpen, but the bullpen up for grabs. Look, if you're gonna let the game get into the bullpen in the playoffs,
they can't.
Who knows?
They can't do it.
It's gonna be up for grabs.
The Yankees, frankly, are fortunate that they were able to get to that second game because they shouldn't have gotten the second game. They should have been swept. If it wasn't for Addison Barger dropping that ball when they had 2 outs, when they went out to the Judge never would have got an opportunity to even have his moment. So the errors gave them a second chance, and they didn't take clean advantage of it. But frankly, if all had been played as it should have been, they shouldn't even have been in another game back in Yankee Stadium because the Toronto Blue Jays dropped the ball on the game right before that. So the last question I got for y'all is Aaron Judge now given a pass? Do we still look at him as Yankees fans, you guys are, and say, well, Judge didn't show up. It's Judge, blah, blah, blah. Did he? Does the moment?
What do you mean? I think he hit 600.
But that doesn't matter. He had that same.
You said the Judge show up, though. You said the Judge show up
before the home run, but it didn't matter because everybody was like, yeah, he batting, blah, blah, blah. But where's his moment? You know what I'm saying? I mean, am I wrong? Am I tripping?
Did Barry Bonds ever win a World Series?
No.
Did Ken Williams
go to a World Series? You know, like
he did. And he hit out his mind. But his team lost. It's baseball, not basketball. That's why these arguments is hard to have with baseball players. You can't. It ain't no such thing. You know, like a baseball player that's great makes 7 outs every 10 times he's up. So no, he's never going to appease these lusty fans that want, home runs every time like we're watching a video game. That's not reality. And in the playoff, it's even more predictable. Because look at who the best hitters were outside of Vlad Guerrero on Toronto. Guys you probably never really heard of that much. That's why that's the type of help Judge needs, right? He needs a couple of other dudes to hit 400. So when he does to put pressure, so when he does get a chance to really do damage, it ain't like, walk him or don't give him nothing to hit because, no, Stanton ain't show up. Everybody talk about playoff Stanton. Well, that's over with. He hit about 150, okay? And didn't hit 1 homer. After hitting 7. 7 last year, right?
Last year.
Nah, bro. That's not
the writing was on the wall.
I just needed half of that. Right? Like, Volpe, you can't have a player on a professional team that strikes out 14 of 17 times. Think about what I just said. You can't have a player on a high school team that strikes out 14 to 17 times. You can't have a player starting on a college team that strikes out 14 to 17 times. To have him on the New York Yankees is an abomination. I know he's homegrown kid, Jersey, they Italian, they loved it. They wanted all of that to happen for him. It's over, bro. George Lombard Jr. at 19 going on 20 would have hit better than that dude. He might have put a couple out the park. I would have brought up Lombard Jr. just for the fucking playoffs. For what? Who cares? Wow. How bad can he do?
No. Wow. No, there's a point there.
They did it with.
He struck out 14 of 17 times. That's little league. That's beyond little league. I'm not playing the one going to play basketball numbers.
But that's the point. Look. There's a point there. So, because you just mentioned Lombard Jr., which is a highly touted,
got hot.
highly touted prospect out of college.
They unfamiliar with him.
And look, They talked about him. He had a whole article done on him and everything like that. But this is
Killing
my
in spring
point.
training.
This is my point. This is what the Yankees do. The Yankees have
They
so
gonna
much
trade him.
talent. They have so much talent in their farm systems, and they don't utilize them. They don't utilize. This goes back to, again, Hal Steinbrenner versus George Steinbrenner. They are not the same. But this organization the Yankees organization was its greatest under George Steinbrenner. I don't care what nobody say.
It was.
And when you get somebody like Hal, who's not fully invested and doesn't have the passion for baseball like George did, then you get this. Then you get this lull of subpar baseball being played in a Yankees uniform. And then you get superstars not being superstars in the moment. Because look, I'm not sitting here saying that just whether Judge hit 4 or 5 home runs, I'm not saying that could have been the difference between the Yankees winning or losing, because I still am not changing my mind. Toronto was the better team in all year long, including in the playoffs. But what I will say is this: when you have a superstar of the likes of an Aaron Judge, which is once in a lifetime player who every year consistently looks like the best player in baseball, and then you cannot get over the hump, then you start to ask what needs to change. Since G made the point of they're not going to get rid of Aaron Judge, then now you start going down the line of what do we need to do to get over the hump. And if Aaron Boone is not the person to get the Yankees over the hump, then we have to find the person that is. And as long as we play the waiting game and we just sit there, then we'll have the same fucking conversation next year about how the Yankees didn't make it to the World Series and they had a great season and all of that shit. We'll be doing this every single year.
All right, there's room for continuing that discussion, because my follow-up will be: are the Yankees prepared to have what other lesser market teams call a rebuild, which would mean you don't get to the playoffs perhaps for the next few years? Are you prepared for that? Or
why would you do that? The Yankees aren't losing. You only do that if you're losing. The Yankees are still winning 90 games and going to the playoffs. Like, analyzing Yankees take all day. They're just a different type of franchise, bro. They win they go to the playoffs every single year already. Other teams, they just trying to make a little appearance. Like, ain't nobody winning back-to-back World Series and dominating. Every year now they got a different World Series winner. Maybe the Dodgers about as loaded as you can be, so maybe they do it. But if they don't, I won't be surprised. You know how hard it is to win a World Series? To me, it's the hardest thing to do.
Speaking of which, the only comparable team to the Yankees probably would be the Dodgers. The Dodgers, which are still fighting for their life.
They've been on a nice run for like a decade.
Yeah, well, at this point right now, it's not even guaranteed. We've got one team that's already been in the World Series, pushed out of this year's contention. Are the Dodgers next? I thought it was a foregone conclusion that they was finna lose after they beat the Phillies twice in their own.
I think they finished Philly off tonight.
You think tonight's
Absolutely.
I do.
Yes. And losing twice in LA.
And I think the Cubs win. That's going 5. The Cubs win. That tied.
The Cubs win.
They tied up.
Oh, no. The Cubs are done. You stick a fork in the Cubs tonight.
They down 2-1. I think the Cubs win.
You think they tie it up? You think they go 5 games?
I think the Tigers win tomorrow night, because I picked the Tigers to go to the World Series, though. Beat the Yankees in the ALCS.
I got that on tape. I know. I'm gonna
Yankees
put you
couldn't
out there.
do their thing, though. I don't know why not. I was hoping they would prove me wrong.
You see him trying to stunt low key. He keep talking about how he picked the Tigers.
Hey,
they this close, bro.
Seattle's nice too. Seattle's nice.
Look, nice. G, me and him just had this conversation when the playoffs started, and I said, yo, watch out for the Tigers, because if they can pick up where they left off at that point in the season when they were hot
last year,
and I said they were going to be very hard to beat, and me and him had this discussion. He was like, no, and then they beat Cleveland.
I said they had too many bats. That was my exact quote.
No, that was for the Seattle. Let me finish. That was for the Seattle series. You said they had too many bats.
Oh, I thought that's what you was talking about. My bad.
No, I know. I said when I said they was going to beat the Cleveland Guardians, you was like, I don't know. And then I was like, and then when they was pulling up on Seattle, I said, Seattle better watch out, because if the Tigers pitch like I know they can, it's going to be hard. And you said they had too many bats, and I said, well, it's you saying too many bats, but they just put up all of these runs on the Cleveland Guardians too. I said, so the bats, that whole they got too many bats thing is not a thing. And what you've seen thus far is this series is playing out in Detroit's favor. It has in the first three games we've seen, they was, except for last night where they kind of went off and bust Seattle ass. But prior to that, they were both low scoring affairs. They were all low scoring affairs,
2, 3,
which which bodes well for the Tigers. Now, when it starts going up in a whole bunch of runs, then you start wondering, are we going to just have a hit? Is it going to be a hit and duel? And then you might lean towards Seattle. But last night, I'm saying last night, but I think it was the night before last. Whatever. It was last night, right? So yeah, I think they had 9 runs last night. Am I correct? They scored not put up 9 runs. So
9-3.
So that if Seattle was going to dispatch to Detroit, they should have did it last night. Now you in deep waters now.
But at least they get to go home now. All right. Yeah. So now they get to do it in front of their home crowd.
And I think Scooble pitching, right?
But it do got Scooble pitching. hey, Polanco hit. Polanco hit two banging ass. Oh goddamn, boy, we got to figure it out. Polanco did hit 2 big ass dingers off of Scooble, but they still ended up losing that game. So I don't know whether or not that means that they're gonna be able to win this one, because if that's the only points runs that they was able to score, who knows? He might just tackle Polanco a different way. But let's go to a different topic real quick, and then we're probably gonna wrap up a little bit, and we might have to continue this real quick. But before we go, we got to get predictions for tonight for the 2 games that we got going on, Seattle and Philly. I think I already heard,
but
yeah, I think I already heard. I think I already heard the Philly one for Booyah. But for Detroit and Seattle, what? Go ahead and give it to me now. You going Detroit and you going Seattle, Ty?
No. What? Since when did I go to Seattle? Any of this? I've been saying the Tigers since
you just raving about Detroit.
I just told you that.
Well, I thought you meant. I didn't know that you meant for the whole series.
Bro, we have discussed this. Would I like to see Seattle against Toronto? Would I think that would be great for baseball? Absolutely. We're probably talking about maybe 11 runs scored each game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it would be awesome. But from just my visual and from me knowing that in the late postseason, pitching wins championships. I've always said that it is a known fact. Pitching wins championships. Detroit, it was and is that one team that I've said from the time the playoffs started that you better watch out for them, because if they get hot at the right time, it's gonna be bad for everybody. It's gonna be bad for everybody if they get hot at the right time. And look, Scoble, it's now on your ace to get y'all through. And he's been phenomenal all year long. I don't see why he wouldn't be phenomenal tonight. So yeah, I'm picking the Tigers to beat Seattle in Seattle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't sleep on Seattle's pitching as well, because their pitching is incredible. I can see a great pitchers duel. I can see a 2-1 game. Mm-hmm. I can see 3-2. I can see 1-0 game, or maybe it barnstorms because everybody like the hell. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's 15-14, 14-13, 6 homers.
I'm trying to see.
That'll be epic. That'll be epic, but I don't see that. But that'll be epic.
So all right. So I was wrong. Seattle doesn't play tonight. They play tomorrow. It's the Cubbies that play tonight.
Yeah, Cubs and Brewers.
Cubs and
Brewers. I got the Brewers.
So the Brewers, you got.
They wrap it up.
Philly, and Milwaukee.
I got the Cubs extending, by the way,
You got
and
the
eventually,
Cubs,
yeah,
and then losing
I can't say they're gonna win the series, but I definitely like the Cubs to win. They
because
extend.
they are playing in the confines, and that
Yeah,
seems to be helpful
Wrigley.
somehow. Even
Yeah,
though it
yeah.
didn't.
For the one game. For the one game, because that's what I told you. I said, I said this will be fairly easy. The Cubs might get one game, and they got their one game. So enjoy that victory, Chicago, because y'all ain't getting no more.
They
Uh,
don't have the
I,
pitching.
yeah, and that's the weird part, right? That's the weird part because at one point in time it was strength, but since Justin Steele wasn't able to come back this season, I think that was a big hurt. But for some reason, I feel like they didn't get the luxury of bringing up that new hand like Milwaukee did. Like the Miz came out of nowhere, right? You know what I'm saying, in the middle of the season, and then you get like a Schlittler that comes for New York, and you get like all of these new components. But the Chicago, they just tried to. They was like, fuck it, we just gonna go ahead and ride. What's old boy from Cleveland that was with Cleveland last year? That just had to pitch twice. Man, I'm bad with my freaking the dude that cried, and whatever, man. I'll think of it at some point.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I think he's pitching tonight. Actually, yeah, he I think he's pitching tonight. Freaking, I know
pitching for the Cubs.
For the Cubs, yeah. He was with Cleveland last year. I mean, Detroit. He was with Detroit. He was with Cleveland, and now he's pitching there, and he was crying because his granddad used to live in Chicago. And whenever you see his name, you're gonna say it, and I'm gonna remember. We got to get more live viewers so we can get live fact checking. But
right.
but yeah. So I have two real quick questions, guys, and then I'm gonna go ahead and peel.
Yeah, I got a breeze in a minute.
Boyd, yeah, I got real quick questions.
Boyd,
yeah, Matthew Boyd. Will the Dodgers make it to the World Series? And who is your pick, G, for MVP AL?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think the Dodgers will make it to the World Series. I don't see anybody stopping them. I know people probably hope that they'll lose, but I don't see it. There's no way for them to stop all of them from not heating up at the same time. Like somebody's going to heat at some point. And the pitcher staff, I love what they're doing with the pitching. They're using all the starters, right? They said the hell with relievers, right? We throwing starters at you for every situation. It's a new approach, but hey, give Dave Roberts his props. He already secured his Hall of Fame plaque. If you ask me, he got two rings. He got 2 rings. He going for 3 back-to-back rings.
Yeah, and he got one as a player.
He doing it with different teams, right? Sure, he's loaded, but if you look, a lot of teams are loaded. A lot of teams are loaded. And when you have the money like the Dodgers have, you got to win like 3, 4 rings because that's not going to happen all the time. They've been spending this type of money since 2014. Think about all the rings the Dodgers could have had. They done lost, 3 World Series in the last... Didn't they lose 3 World Series or something in the last 10 years? They've been to numerous NLCSs and lost.
Mm-hmm.
They could have 6 rings, the Dodgers, right now, if they had any luck. But baseball ain't like that.
Okay.
This is not.
And you agree?
I think, hold on, and I think Aaron Judge will not win the MVP, but should. But I just think there's been too much public sentiment around Kyle Riley from Seattle being the catcher. Like the anti-Yankee hate be crazy in the MVP. Jeter don't have an MVP. Enough said. But dudes of that era like Justin Morneau do. Like, think about that, man. Like, you know.
Okay. So but you would, if you had a vote, you'd vote for Judge.
I would vote for Judge, but I think Riley will win, and I don't have a problem with it because he did his 60. He hit 60 bombs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got the 60. So I said if he got the 60 for a catcher, that's some Johnny Bench times Gary Carter times Pudge Rodriguez shit. You know what I mean? Like, put them all together in one. So
yeah.
What can I say?
Yeah. I mean, do you value the defensive argument, like of him being a catcher versus being an outfielder?
Not in that particular argument, but it's valid.
Okay, why not?
Being that he hit 60 home runs, everything valid. Yep.
It's all about the slug.
Being a catcher.
I'm just
Not
saying,
all
like,
about the slug, but a
Shohei's
catcher
not going.
doing it. He does, that's a grind.
Yeah.
I don't want to overrate it, but it's a grind. Yeah. It's a catching. That's why they don't expect their catchers to hit shit. Usually,
you spend 90% of your time on your knees.
Crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And hitting comes from your lower half.
Hey, G, you probably around my age, so you know how hard it is sometimes when you get low and then you got to come back up. You be like, shit. Imagine having to do that the whole 90, the whole game. You like, shit up, shit up, Now I gotta hit 60 home runs with it. It's valid, 100%. Uh-oh.
And try to jump up after you've been sitting there for like 5 minutes with your knees bend and your hands and your try to get up. Yeah. Vince don't have those problems. At least that's what the ladies say. At least,
use a wild ball. Use a wild ball. Don't put that in the universe. Nah, that ain't even true. I do want to shout you out though real quick, man, because we did have I appreciate you letting me, you know what I'm saying, ride with y'all through the All-Star game and everything. But I'm gonna tell you one real quick funny story though, Ty, before we go. All right, so I finally get access through my ways or whatever to the room, and they did a press call for Aaron Judge, but we was in the media room, and my eyes light up. I'm like, oh shit, Aaron Judge, really? And it's an all call for media, and two of the other, it was like, all right, we going down there, we going, and I look back at G, was like, man, I already talked.
All right, yeah. I can hear you again. Yeah.
You say, man, I already talked to that nigga.
Yo, I'm about to. Yo, we got to get up and do this again because I can't hear you again, bro.
Oh,
you
man.
Know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
Y'all holler at me, man.
We got to figure that out,
it's
man.
It's been real.
Yeah, definitely. Take care, man. Easy, G. Well, yeah, man. We probably should get out of here pretty soon too, man, because I gotta start getting ready. But yeah,
you didn't ask me my things on the game. So So
I'm sorry.
I definitely don't. I don't agree with G. I don't think that the Dodgers are going to go to the World Series. I've already told you. I do believe that the Brewers have enough to get past the Dodgers this year. I mean, they've had enough all year. So I don't see again. I think the Cubs, as I commend you guys on getting a win at home. That was great. Enjoy it. But that's all you're getting. That's it. Like that's a wrap. You stick a fork in that. And with the Phillies, I think the same thing. I don't see them going into LA winning twice. Like the heroics of Schwarber is I expected that. I mean, you're coming up for free agency. You know what you need to do to boost those numbers up, and you did it. You did it. You showed when the lights are on that you still got it.
That's
and
hilarious.
hit. I mean, look, he did it. He hit 2 home runs last night when the lights were the biggest. When staving off elimination, same thing that Judge did. You basically saved your team, from just being swept. But ultimately, that's about as far as it goes. So yes, right now as it stands, I believe that the Brewers wrap things up with the Cubs tonight. I think that the Dodgers wrap things up with the Phillies tonight. They meet for the championship.
Okay. All right. The Brewers wrap things up with the Cubs. The Dodgers wrap things up with the Phils.
Yeah.
Oh man. You know what? I think that is a just battle to have the Brewers versus the Dodgers, especially if the Dodgers walk away non-victorious. Because it says, I will match you dollar for dollar, talent per dollar. And if that's going to be a hell of a statement from the Midwest, if they can walk away with the W. So we'll just have to see.
It's a 7-game series. Now, once they get to the NL Championship, you're now playing a 7-game series, which is a lot different from a 5-game series. And I do see this being it could possibly go 7. Like I don't just think that the Brewers are going to walk in and just walk the dogs and sweep the Dodgers. I think G made some fair points. The Dodgers have changed it up. They are literally pitching with all starters. And that is one of the things that I can honestly say what gives me such respect for Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts is a situational coach. He literally coaches based on the situation. And that to G's point about a lot of these managers having systems in place that they don't change up based on the competition or whoever they play. They just kind of just say, "Oh, the system works, so we're going to stick with the system." Dave Roberts is contrary to that. Dave Roberts could look at a situation and say, "You know what? We're not going to play any starters tonight. We're just going to go with the bullpen like he did last year." and then he could turn around and be like, "You know what? We're not going with anybody in the bullpen. We're just, we're just going with the starters." You know what I'm saying? So everybody is gonna. So it's a situational coach. He's a genius. You cannot take anything away from Dave Roberts, which is why the Dodgers have been so successful in the past 10 years. But even with all that being said, I see a level of hunger with those Milwaukee Brewers. Even though the Cubs won the game, they still had to bite, scratch, do everything to win that game. Like it wasn't like they were, and then you were home, and you had to bite and scratch and do all of that to win. So I definitely think that the Milwaukee Brewers, this is their year. The writing is on the wall for them. I still see Ohtani having issues in the playoffs this year, just like he had issues in the playoffs last year. He's not doing great at the plate this year. I mean, his numbers are down. And you can't be like he's injured like he was last year. He's dealing with injuries. He's fine. He's fine.
To your point, let me show you something real quick. To that very point, okay.
Yes.
Around last year, around this time, because Shohei, hit 51, 59, or 50-50 club, whatever you want to call it, because he was killing it, stealing all the bases and everything. Even though I was just after around this time, I think he ended up hurting himself. If you check Dodgers social media, all you're gonna see is Shohei Ohtani everywhere.
Yes.
If you scroll down the Dodgers page, you might not remember that he was on the team. Here he is. They got him here in one post, but he used to, all right. Well, maybe as you go down a little further, you start seeing a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it used to be all him.
Yes,
all right. Well, down here, I think he was doing a little better.
All right. I mean,
but the point being made, in the last few weeks, when we're in the playoffs now, you know what I'm saying? Like he's not as much, and I feel like that's a little bit deliberate, Ty. Like I think that he
take the pressure off.
I take it back to when he originally said, when Dave Roberts, they had the press conference where they were asking when Shohei Ohtani was going to actually start pitching, and he was like, "Well, I mean, obviously they kept asking him all year, but it came a point where he was like, well, Shohei is getting antsy. So we're probably going to trot him out here sometime soon." He never said, "You know what? We got an arm that we got to put in." Now, don't get me wrong. They need Shohei now because the pitching got a little suspect for a little bit with Blake trying in, and even Glass now before he started ripping like he is now, we was having a little bit of trouble. But what I always said was, you're fucking with the formula. You know what I'm saying? Like the formula worked last year. Like why change it? You know what I'm saying? Like you need a dude who is a threat when he gets on bases in Shohei Ohtani. That's not the case this year. He's only at like a dozen stolen bases as opposed to like 59 last year. Okay. So I just feel like that factored in is going to erode the intensity that Ohtani is bringing to the plate, because his focus isn't being what he can to help his team this year like it was last year, because he knew that he was coming in off of having a surgery on his elbow. So now he's like, I gotta help, I gotta contribute. Now it's, I want to show the world I can pitch. Now it's, I want to have a WBC moment in the MLB. I want to end going against Mike Trout, and I want to strike him out in the World Series. That's my main focus rather than what it is that helped the team get to the World Series and win last year. And I just, even the threat of Ohtani, you know, like they don't walk him no more. I was giving credit to Judge. I was like, Judge, when he gets in remember last year they started walking Juan Soto? they were walking
to get to Judge.
You're supposed to be the guy that, yeah, I was like, they're supposed to be scared of you.
We want him up there. We want him.
To his credit, they walked Judge in the postseason. So I was like, Bishop, I felt so good. I was like, good. Thank God you can at least use that. It'll give you a couple weeks, but they still gonna be on. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, with Ohtani, he is over. Like he's not there, and then you can almost expect him to not be able to contribute as much when he's pitching in the game as well, which we expect to see sometime in this postseason where he's going to be a starting pitcher. And you're almost like, look, if he don't hit, I understand, but that's fucked up. I'd rather him hit than pitch. And I feel like Dave Roberts is unlike himself because he's usually the dude to be like, nah, Mookie, stay your ass in right field. But this year he's like, go ahead, shortstop, go ahead, pitch. And that's a little different. I don't know.
Do you feel like the decision was taken out of his hands?
That's a good question.
Because I really honestly feel like if it were up to Dave Roberts, especially the way he does his press conferences, is you can read between the lines when he says Shohei's getting antsy. He didn't say the Dodgers were getting antsy. He said Shohei's getting antsy. Yep. So this is something him and his team are very, very adamant about doing. And to keep your star player happy, then you kind of cave and allow him to do what it is that he wants to do. And you know, this is another form of trying to keep your players happy and trying to keep them in the best mindset. But if the numbers say that it is not positively affecting Shohei by letting him pitch, I think the higher ups need to take that into consideration. Is what contributes to him having such a poor plate appearance this season as opposed to last season. We know last season he was injured, so we already can kind of say, oh, that the injury was the reason why he wasn't 100%. There is no injury this year. He's fine. He's got a clear bill of health. But there is something blocking him, some type of mental blockage that is causing him not to have the same success at the plate that we normally see from him. And they're going to need that. They're absolutely going to need that if they want to have any chance in beating the Milwaukee Brewers. I just want to put that out there. Shohei cannot go up to the plate and give offers through that series and the Dodgers are successful. That's not going to happen. They're going to need their star to show up in the moments, in the biggest moments, on the biggest stage. They're going to need him to do it. So, you know, we'll see how this plan all unfolds. I have a theory that you know, the Brewers are going to be able to figure it out before the Dodgers do.
I am rooting for a Mariners Brewers, even though I see why Vladdy would be a great story. I think that I'd prefer to see the Mariners because I just feel like that story is crazy, and I'd rather them get it this year for some reason. I don't know. Just seems like it's the perfect year for them to do it for whatever reason. And also, I want to credit them because they did exactly what fans want them to do. Like they did what fans want teams to do. Like the teams want you to go out and get what you don't have. They want you to use your farm system. They want you to listen to your stars. They want you to support your star. Like Milwaukee, I mean, the Mariners did everything right from a corporation standard down. I can't speak specifically hourly. So Seattle, I'm sure would take issue with what I'm saying, but I just like seeing that. With regard to Toronto, they've won a series. They've won before. So to me, I get the Vladdy story, but ultimately the Blue Jays have won a World Series before. The Mariners have never won a World Series. They've never won a World Series. I believe they've never been to a World Series. The Brewers have never won a World Series. I like that storyline. Somebody walking away with a legacy. But if the Blue Jays do win, if the Blue Jays do win, I won't be terribly upset because I like what they did the same thing. You could argue that they did the same thing on the east side of the continent. The fans was like, y'all gonna sign Vladdy? Y'all gonna sign Vladdy? This almost didn't happen. Vladdy was about to go into free agency. He was 1 foot out the door. He was even open to talking to the Yankees at one point in time.
Look, it's so funny. It's so funny after he made those comments, the Toronto Blue Jays hurry up and sign his ass. It was like, whoa. They was like, whoa, the Yankees.
I was just playing.
How much did you say you wanted? Let's
we got you.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then as soon after that, boom, Vladdy start pop. Everything start making sense. And so you got to give them their credit. They also acquired Max Scherzer, who, you know, that cost a pretty penny. They went out and got George Springer. They went out and got Anthony Santander. They traded for Jimenez. They've done the work. They're not sitting. They tried to get Ohtani. They tried to get Osaki. They tried to get Juan Soto. Even if Toronto's don't nobody want to cross the border and have to show they pay. You know, they had this problem. So it's a hard sell sometimes. You know, but it's not like they have been putting their foot in. Okay. Same to be said for the Mariners and same to be said for the Brewers, with the exception of payroll. They're I think the bottoms, the seventh to last. I looked up on for the Brewers on the payroll. So it says even more with regards to it's if they knock out the Dodgers, that is the story. This literally Buck versus it's like, yo, the John Henry versus the machine, you know, get it out the mud versus paycheck type shit, you know what I'm saying? And here's one thing I'm gonna say that I would never, that I'm a renege on something I said, because I always was like, yo, you always talking, the New Yorkers, y'all always blame it on one. I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Dodgers don't go to the World Series, there's gonna be some Aaron Judge type resentment towards Shohei Ohtani. Towards Shohei Ohtani, it's gonna go directly to him, bro. And if it's fair or not, I can't tell you. I don't know if it's gonna be like, oh, we hate him, but the questions will start. You understand what I'm saying? The questions will start to arise, and it's easy to defend.
I think the questions have already arisen. These are conversations that a lot of the analysts are having right now in terms of the disappearance of Shohei Ohtani in this playoff. So the conversation's already happened. I don't think it'll reach Aaron Judge status. And the reason being is because of all of the pieces that are around him in LA. The Mookie Betts, the Freddie Freemans, the Teoscar Hernandez, the Enrique Hernandez, is the pit, and that's just on the offensive side. I'm not even talking about the pitching, because the pitching, this is not the Yankees, all right? Like, the Dodgers have at every level, they have stars. They have or potential stars, or up and coming, or at every level. This is not the Yankees. The Yankees still, they have a decent roster. But if I was to put their roster next to the Dodgers, it's a clear difference in the rosters, especially when you get to the pitching, the pitching side of the ball. So I don't think the level of vitriol will come from the Dodgers as it would from the Yankees. The New York is a different animal in itself. It's just a different animal.
Yeah.
For all sports media, everybody knows that New York is the precipice of all of that.
Agreed.
So I don't think that now will there be questions that happen internally, like I was just saying, in regards to, do we let him dictate? Do we let Ohtani dictate next year?
There you go.
The pitching. If we say no, then it's no. Like, it's not going to be no. You finagle
That's a
your
good
way.
point. That's a real good point.
I think that's what would happen, is you won't see Ohtani having the pleasure and the thing of being able to dictate whether or not he pitches. I think that'll be off the table. They'll be like, nah, based off of your performance last year and the thing, we think it'd be better for the team and for us, if this is the way that you go about preparation for the next season and whatever.
The question is, and I don't know if it's really a valid question because I already know the answer in my head is an obvious one, but is it better? Is it more valuable to have a starting pitcher from Shohei Ohtani as a secondary hitter or as a DH? Like, which one is more valuable? He did already hit more home runs this year than he did last year, even if he pitched. All right. He started a whole new 50-50 club. He just didn't steal a lot of bases. So that's the only real difference.
But imagine what he would have done if he didn't, though. Imagine if he didn't. Imagine what numbers he would. Yeah, exactly. And that's what they're going to do. That's what I'm saying is they're going to say, we saw what you were able to accomplish in the regular season. But imagine if you didn't have to do those pitching exchanges, and you were just clearly those numbers could have been that, like, analytics shows us that you could have done it. So I'm just saying that I think based off of his performance in this next series, which is going to be the most important and the most magnified because it'll be the championship game against the best team in baseball per record wise. So it'll be really really eye opening whether or not the organization looks in a different direction as far as, hey, yeah, we don't need the pitching from you. We went out and spent the money to get all the best pitchers. Like, not saying that you're not one of the better pitchers, Shohei, but you don't have to take on that responsibility. Like, we literally went and got somebody from your country that could possibly be better.
That's what you signed me for. That's what it says in my contract, that I'm a two-way player. I'm not just a DH. I'm not playing the outfield. I'm more valuable as a pitcher. The question. Listen, the point is valid. Frankly, numerically, you can't justify not giving him the front seat. The only thing that can help you get some leverage in an argument versus him pitching, if you want him to not pitch as much, is the postseason performance, which right now is piss poor. It is bad. But in his defense, it's not just bad for him. I think that it's Freddie, Teo, Mookie's having a fairly decent postseason from a hit standpoint, even defensively, frankly, if I could say so.
Yeah.
But him and the big and 2-3 others of that top four have not been producing, so it's not an Ohtani only issue. But 5-alarm fire. The whole plan of the Dodgers is like, yo, if one can't do it, the others can. To their credit, the bottom half, obviously, postseason Kike shows up. He's doing what he does. Teo's bat is woken up, but his defense is, frankly, I think could cost them
but
he's giving Juan Soto in right field.
Vince, to your point though, there's one part that you're leaving out too. They haven't been forced to either. They haven't been forced to do anything outside of just what they need to do to win. They haven't been pushed by the Phillies. They weren't pushed. They weren't pushed in the first series against the Reds. They haven't had any reason to. Like, this is not a Padres situation where, you know what I'm saying, we find ourselves down 0-1. You know what I'm saying? This is not that situation. Right. They haven't been pressed. When they were pressed last year, we did see them respond, and we saw them respond in great fashion. So, this is gonna, like I said, this next series is going to be magnified because it's the championship game and the stakes are a lot higher. And will Milwaukee push them to become the team that we saw last year? Or will Milwaukee kind of, make them fold? You know what I'm saying? Because they're not prepared or whatever the case may be. And that's yet to be seen. So that's what I'm interested in seeing. I do think, like I said again, they will dispatch the Phillies tonight. It was great. But listen, if the Phillies press. And like in no way am I saying the Phillies don't have a chance. I mean, you always have a chance, but and if the Phillies are able to somehow by miracle win tonight in LA, and then they got to go back to Philly, that is not a good situation. That is not a good situation to be in, because now the momentum is shifted. Now you've given a team who by all accounts should have beat you, like by record wise and by seeding wise, the Phillies should be up right now, but they lost both games in Philly. So now here we are winning in LA, and then you going back to Philly. That is not a situation that the
That'd be
Dodgers want to
so
find themselves
bizarre
in.
if they can't win at home. Like if both of these teams end up losing in their home stadium,
Oh
that'd be
my
the
God.
dumbest shit I ever seen in my life. All right, last question. If the Phillies, I think we've already given a foregone conclusion that they are less likely to go past the Dodgers. That I mean, it just don't seem like it's there. Will they be in contention after this year? Do you think that they re-sign Kyle Schwarber? I think Bryce Harper is even I think his contract is up after this year. They got a whole different team that is looking like do Bryce Harper even want to go back? Does Kyle Schwarber want to go back? They've given him enough time. He's given them enough, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's gonna get the bank thrown at him. Both of these dudes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No doubt
So I think this could be the last of this Phillies team that we see. And that may not be a bad thing, because I mean, just just because they didn't make it to the hilltop don't mean that it wasn't worth the ride, I guess. I don't know. But I don't see Kyle Schwarber coming back for some reason. Like it
depends. It depends, Vinny. It depends on if there's a better situation out there. And I'm not talking about financially. I'm talking about if Kyle Schwarber's whole thing is, I want to win a championship. I want to win another. I want to win. Matter of fact, has Kyle Schwarber been part of a championship team already? I feel like he did. Wasn't he with who was he with before he was with
Cubs? I believe he was with the Cubs. I believe so.
Well, he wasn't part of a championship team with the Cubs. Cubs didn't win a championship.
Well, I'm not sure if he was with the Cubs when they was in 2016, but I don't know. Does he have a ring? I don't feel like
Bryce got a ring. Didn't Bryce get a ring?
Bryce got one with Washington.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Right? Yeah, Bryce got a under your boy, the coach, the black coach, right?
Ramirez.
No, that wasn't who I was thinking about. I was thinking about was it Washington?
Well, it was Ramirez was now you think of Ron Washington. I think it was Ramirez. The same dude that they just fired along with the GM. But yeah, so they gonna be who?
It just, for me, like I said, it just depends on the situation. If the situation, if one of these teams, like say if Kyle Schwarber is offered money to go play with the Brewers, like he immediately signs with the Brewers.
Oh wow! Holy shit!
No,
because imagine that.
Yeah, yes, I can absolutely can imagine it. That's why I said it. And my point is that the only way that I see Schwarber and Bryce breaking that up is if they find better situations where they possibly could find themselves winning a championship. I don't see Bryce leaving the Phillies situation, because again, they are perennial postseason team. They are there every year. So if they're continuing to make it, like to G's point, eventually we'll get over the hump, but I don't want to go and play for a team like the Reds where I might not make it I might just get to the postseason and lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna go backwards at this point in my career. I'm trying to, like, could Bryce wind up in a better situation? Could Bryce be a Met? You know what I'm saying? Could Bryce wind up going somewhere?
I'm so sorry. Let me correct the record. It's not Bryce. It's Ranger Suarez. Bryce is signed until 2031. Of course, trade options could arise. and so
He's
that
not
he
gonna
could
do it.
ask to be traded out. But I think he has a no
Yeah,
not
no trade clause,
no
probably.
play no he doesn't get traded if he don't want to.
Yeah.
But yes, so let me make sure I'm on the record.
Okay.
It's not
Okay.
it is Kyle Schwarber is 100% indeed a free agent
Okay.
as of the moment they lose in the playoffs, if that happens. Ranger Suarez, same thing. Max Kepler, and Zach Wheeler, evidently, and Aaron Nola,
Are all what, free agents?
free agents after this season, and David Robertson,
That's
who
interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Zach Wheeler is definitely a re-sign that they should hopefully re-sign and keep locked in. But yeah, I think it's all going to depend on if he can find if there's a better situation. The Toronto Blue Jays, there's a lot of contenders that could use another
he
bat.
is not going to the Blue Jays.
I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying that those would be potential, like these places are potential landing spots for a player of his caliber. Like you're not going to go to the Cardinals, like a rebuild situation. You're not going to them and saying, "Hey, no."
I agree.
So I feel like right now, as it stands, bro, um Schwarber is actually kind of probably locked into the best situation he's going to be in with the Phillies. If I'm being 100% honest, I don't really see like I said, the Brewers potentially, but I don't know that they would even, you know, go
I ain't got
after,
any.
what I'm saying, yeah, to go after him. So
The only options I see, because I think that Cal is going to be one of those big game free agents, five,
yeah.
600 for 8 years. I mean, I think what is he? Is he 30? How old is Cal? Cal
Oh,
Schwarber?
Cal?
Yeah,
Cal's what, 29?
yeah. I think he's just about 30 or something like that.
Yeah, I
It's
think
not
he's
like
like
he's a young
29.
buck. So I think Cal.
28. He's 28. 28.
Okay.
I love Cal even more. This dude's birthday is the day before mine, bro. Like, hey,
Oh, the 26th.
Cal. Yeah, he's a
Look at you.
Sag.
I knew there was something
My
crazy about
dude, Cal. Sag, he's a Sag. Yeah, yeah,
you.
man. My favorite
Well,
player,
yeah,
man.
Cal's cool. Man, 28. I don't know. That 20, that two is a big money maker. That two in front of your age makes a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So
It also makes
I'm
you,
gonna back
it
up my thoughts
also,
on that.
it
I thought
also
he was 30
makes
something
you,
for some reason.
but it also makes a player like Kyle Schwarber interested in going to a team with young talent, but also who've been proven. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if Seattle could sign a Kyle Schwarber, that would be a
Nah,
huge. What do you mean? No.
Cal resigns in Philly. They fire Rob Thompson, and
Mm.
yeah, they fire Rob Thompson. They trade Nick Castellanos. They get in another. They re-nurse Harrison Bader back to health. They
Mm.
double down on
That's a lot. That's a
another
lot. That's a
starting pitcher.
lot of. That's a lot of things you're talking about already. You've already literally listed about 4 or 5 different changes that need to happen in order for Kyle
Okay,
Schwarber.
if I bet you that they could work out a deal where Kyle Schwarber gets roughly a little bit more than the same AAV he gets now for a few more. They give him the Pete Rose treatment. Pete Alonso treatment.
Alonzo.
You know what I'm saying? We don't want you for 15 years, but we got something here. We don't want to lose what we got. Let's do 6 years. Let's do, with a 4-year opt-out option. You know what I'm saying? I bet you it's something like that. And I bet you he's like, yeah, all right, whatever. We do got something here. But he ain't gonna get the 10-year, you know what I'm saying, 15-year, 500 mil like Vladdy and them. Because Cal Schwarber, I don't believe, is dedicated to Philly as much as he is to winning. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I do understand what you're saying, but I don't agree with the idea that there aren't teams that would offer him that if that meant him signing with
Oh,
their team. I don't like,
whoa.
Kyle Schwarber is still one of the elite bats in baseball. Like earlier this year, it was him and Cal had neck and neck. Like they were going
Okay.
back and forth, and then Cal kind of stretched stretched and everything like
let me
that. So yeah,
just for time
how old
basis,
is Kyle? How old is Kyle? First of all, 30?
I thought you just said he was 28.
No, that's Cal Raleigh.
No, I'm talking about
Cal
Cal
Raleigh
Schwarber.
is
That's what I
28.
was talking about.
Oh,
Okay, yeah,
you're
I thought Cal Schwarber is. Oh, I thought you. Nah,
no,
man, my
no,
bad.
no, no, no. Yeah,
Maybe it's my. I found
because it is. It's your St. Louis accent.
whatever, man.
Y'all Kyles sound like cows. Like what the fuck? Like like there's
Whatever
a
Cal
bit
has.
of yeah.
Yeah,
He's like
but
I said Kyle.
I
I
said
said
Cal.
Kyle. Like that nigga. They, I'm like Kyle. Oh, you mean Cal Raleigh? Oh, okay, not
Cal Schwarber.
Kyle. Not
Whatever,
Kyle.
man. But anyway, the point I was making with Cal Schwarber, specifically
Yes.
Cal Schwarber,
Yes.
I don't think he gets any 10-year kind of.
He's 32.
Yeah, he don't get 10 years,
So,
nothing. He gets 4 years. But even if he was 28, he's still not getting 10 years. And the reason is because Cal Schwarber is already way too close to being a DH than anybody else. I don't see him playing first base, third base. I don't see they put him out in the field before, and yeah, he made it. He struggled through a few, but I don't think that he has two offense and defense potential. He is a 100% bat. I mean, you can squeeze a little bit of offense out of Juan Soto, and you now can squeeze more stolen bases out of Juan Soto. But
so are you saying that Kyle Schwarber might sign with the Yankees next year? Is that what you're saying? Because the Yankees look like they might be in need of a new DH. I'm just putting that out there. I'm just saying.
Who's they DH now?
Stanton. What you mean?
Wow.
What you mean? Stanton is the DH. Right.
I was thinking, I was like,
we definitely look like we need a new DH. He's got another year on his contract.
Yeah.
So it'd be time to move. It's time to move on. It's time to move on from Stanton.
Wow.
Yeah, I said that. The writing was on the wall last year. Even though he did what he did,
damn,
we came out of that, and I said it to you last year. I said, "Yo, it might be time." And you was like, "No, he's got like 2 years left on his contract." And I'm like, "It doesn't matter that he has 2 years on his contract when you're dealing with a dude that is always injury prone, doesn't play the full seasons." And stuff like that. Yeah, it's time to move on from a guy like that. Yeah, like, and that's no shot at Stanton. Stanton has had a great career, but it's everything comes to an end at some point, and this might be the time to do that. Listen, what G said and what I said is 100%. If George Steinbrenner were alive right now and Kyle Schwarber became available in free agency next year, there is no doubt in my mind that George Steinbrenner would have been like, get him. I don't care how much it costs, get him. Yeah, and that's the difference in the Yankee organization.
Of course you don't care how much it costs.
Yeah, no, because it's not my money.
I don't know if they're going. All right. Well, listen, I gotta feel I gotta head out here to the
Yeah.
But yeah, this was fun. I will stick by my man. You know what? We're gonna have to start putting maybe some money on. I mean, not big money. We can start small money if you don't want to go like that. Start with the little dollars, but putting little wagers on when we disagree. So it means a little more.
In the past, we've done it before in the past.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So a little bit here. I in this particular instance, I just happen to. I think I agree with you on all of these points. I think that the Phillies will lose. I do think that the Brewers will win, and I just don't think that Detroit is going. I just don't think that that's the one. I think we ain't on the same page with. I think the Mariners going to pull out of that one, especially now they're going home. I know that's not supposed to be a factor, and it's not. But maybe it's a point of preference because I want a team that hasn't been to the World Series to go to the World Series. Especially in King Griffey, the spirit of King Griffey and Ichiro, it'd be magical. The same year Ichiro gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, the same year Cal Raleigh wins the home run derby and beats the Johnny Bench's record and all that stuff. Look, it would be the year that they go to the World Series. Even if they lose at that point, honestly, I'd like for them to win for that storyline, but it's just to make it to the World Series. And but frankly, the Dodgers are the biggest threat Oh no, the Brewers. Nah, I don't know. That's the Brewers. They got a whole thing going on. They don't even got like when Yelich, yo,
yeah. And they're so young.
And they just waking and they just getting hot. They still hot.
Yeah.
Like Cheerios just starting to wake up.
Yeah.
And I think he's hurt though. I think he was hurt a little bit.
Yes, he is. He is hurt, but not to the point where he can't play.
Right. He's hurt, not injured.
He's the same. He's Freddie Freeman.
Right. William Contreras is doing his thing, and he's really animated, and I like that about him. He's my favorite player, brother. So I'm cool with that. I see the flow. Even the
pitching looks good. Pitching
is on point.
Pitching is right now. Pitching is right now.
I like that whole thing they got going on with I think they got George. Is that George? Do they got that's Seattle got George Springer. They got Peralta, Miz, Woodruff. Woodruff's hurt.
Miz over here throwing a buck and some change. Miz
like it ain't nothing.
That bitch. Whoa, 102. Whoa, 103.
Wiz don't look like Wiz look like Miz are like a whole skeleton. Like it don't look like he eat. Like he look like a stick figure, but I hope that arm lasts long because I got a bad feeling that's not going to bode well for him.
Man, pitching
like,
arms
that's crazy. Throwing like that. That's a super. He's the rookie of the year from that movie, Rookie of the Year.
There's only one pitcher. There's only one pitcher that has been able to consistently throw over 100 miles an hour and has eluded injury, and that's Aroldis Chapman.
Oh yeah. Well, he works out a lot.
Well, whether he works out or not, I'm just saying that he's been the one pitcher, and he was throwing a buck and change before niggas was throwing a buck and change. Like he was like one of the first people that was out here throwing like registering 102 miles an hour before niggas was throwing 102 miles an hour.
That's scary.
And now he's throwing. Now I've seen him register a $105. I'm like, God, it's gotten faster.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's been able to avoid injury over a long period of time because now he's been.
He didn't avoid injury. He got hit in the face with a comeback ball.
All right, what I mean is pitching injuries.
Oh yeah.
Like, come on, bro.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you had to get. I mean, that was.
I guess.
Bad.
Yeah.
But his arm he hasn't had
Tommy
like,
John. He
him and CC Sabathia. Neither of them had to have the Tommy John surgery.
CC wasn't throwing a buck and change.
He was throwing 90, 98, 99, something like that.
Yeah, not a buck. Not a buck.
All right. All right, I digress. All right. Well, as much as I like to end this with music, I can't because it's gonna mess everything up. So we're gonna end it with a gong.
It's all good.
we gonna throw a gong on like it's gonna be like all right, man. Yo, it's been good. We'll wrap with you a little later. Thanks. I haven't called this nothing yet, but we'll probably come up with something soon. But we'll keep talking baseball for anybody who watched. Thank you. Some people watch, which is weird. Like they may not watch in the moment, but I go back, I'll be like, somebody was
checking up on you.
All right. So they don't watch all in real time, but they pull up. So appreciate all of y'all. I'm gonna end with this, but it don't mean that this is what the show is called. I just like this graphic. Okay. All right, y'all.